Okay, let's set the scene. I'm at this fancy new office building downtown, like super modern, lots of glass, too many plants. Every employee has a reusable water bottle with stickers that say, grind now, cry later. I'm there to visit my friend. She's on the 5th floor. I step into this clear, bougie elevator that looks like it was designed by someone who's never experienced anxiety. And then I hear it, a voice behind me. Lexi? I turn around. It's my ex. We dated for 6 months. He had a jawline, a kombucha addiction, and an emotional support skateboard. I ghosted him after he said we should live in a van and make soap. Let's call him Travis. I go, oh, hey, already sweating. But we're not alone. There's also a mom holding a screaming toddler. The kid is covered in apple juice and rage. Sticky hands, loud lungs, zero remorse. And then a dude walks in wearing a ring light necklace and says, yo, this lighting is fire. Let's ride, baby. He's live streaming on TikTok with a selfie stick. The doors close. We're all trapped in a transparent anxiety cube. At first, it's fine. Mild awkwardness. Travis says something like, still rocking those big earrings, huh? I say, still dodging adult responsibility? The tension is delicious. Then the elevator jerks, stops, dead. We're stuck. The toddler starts screaming louder. The TikToker yells, guys, we stuck in a luxury box. Drop a like if we die. I try pressing buttons. Nothing. We're 3 floors up. Everyone in the lobby can see us like a sad diorama labeled Human Embarrassment Habitat. Travis tries to be helpful. He goes, we should conserve oxygen. It's a glass elevator, babe. We're not in space. The mom gives her kid a juice box. The kid throws it directly at my knee. Sticky splash. I flinch and scream. Travis laughs. I contemplate climbing out through the ceiling like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. TikTok guy is still filming. He goes, comment who you think's gonna cry first. The kid, the girl with the earrings, or the dude with soap energy. I yell, stop streaming this. He turns the phone to me. She mad, y'all. She big mad. Then, suddenly, the elevator jerks again. Starts moving very slowly, 1 inch per minute energy, like it's dragging itself through the stages of grief. As we crawl toward floor 5, the toddler falls asleep mid-scream. A vibe. The TikToker starts freestyling, and Travis just stares at me. He goes, you really ghosted me, huh? I'm like, yes, Travis, because you made me watch a 40-minute documentary about sand once and called it foreplay. Silence. Then TikTok guy yells, and that's on closure. We finally reach floor 5. The doors open. I sprint out like I've been reborn, covered in juice, pride shattered, going viral for the wrong reason. Moral of the story? Glass elevators are just fishbowls for human humiliation. Don't ghost people if there's a chance you'll get trapped with them midair. And if a guy live streams your breakdown, at least demand royalties. Anyway, I'm Lexi, and if you ever saw a girl sprinting out of an elevator barefoot, whispering, I hate all of this, holding a juice-soaked handbag, that was me. Tell me in the comments, have you ever been trapped in an awkward place with someone you were trying to avoid? Elevator, plane seat, yoga class with your ex? Let's bond over the claustrophobia. Love you, mean it. Lexi out. I'll start with this. Rich people throw better birthday parties for their dogs than most of us will ever have in our lifetime. Hi, I'm Lexi, and this is the story of how I ended up chasing a high-energy poodle named Champagne through a mansion while wearing a bedazzled apron and covered in organic frosting. Let's begin. So my friend texted me, "Hey, want to help with a dog birthday party? It's like a side gig. Super easy. You just pass out cupcakes and wear pink." I'm like, I love dogs. I love pink. I love snacks. Done. What she didn't tell me, this wasn't just a dog party. It was a dog luxury event hosted in a literal mansion. There's valet, a signature cocktail called the Pomeranian Punch, a cake table with actual spotlights, and a dude walking around with a tiny Yorkie in a sling made of Louis Vuitton. I show up and they hand me a glittery apron that says, "Fetch, babe," a tray of CBD dog cookies, and a strict warning: do not let champagne near the chocolate fountain. I'm like, that's weirdly specific. Okay. Then I meet Champagne. Tiny, white, poodle. Fluffy. Adorable. Looks like if a marshmallow had opinions. Also, he's on medication. ADHD pills in peanut butter. But apparently someone gave him 2 doses by accident. So now this dog is vibrating. Eyes wide, tongue out, bouncing like he's got Spotify playing internally at 2x speed. And then he breaks free, slips his rhinestone leash, books it across the marble floor like a greased rat. Someone screams, "Someone stop him! He's headed for the fountain!" I drop my cupcake tray, frosting flies, I take off in a dead sprint. But here's the thing. You ever tried chasing a dog on Adderall while wearing fuzzy platform shoes on a freshly waxed marble floor? You do not catch him. You slip, you slide, you scream, "No, no, 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 champagne!" I crash into a crystal table, a balloon pops, I hear the DJ say, "Yo, that was wild, play Who Let the Dogs Out," and he does. Meanwhile, Champagne is up on the buffet table, sniffing, zooming, barking. He head dives toward the chocolate fountain like he's base jumping. Right before his snout hits the cocoa, someone, an elderly butler named Ramon, snatches him mid-air like a football interception. MVP of the decade. We all cheer. Champagne licks his face. I'm still lying on the floor, covered in cupcake frosting and shame. The dog's owner, a woman named Tammy with an I, she walks up, hands me $100 and goes, "You've got great hustle, babe. Want to come back for his neutering party next month?" I say no, respectfully. Then I go home, shower in silence, and throw my Fetch Babe apron into a ceremonial bonfire. Moral of the story: don't underestimate tiny dogs with energy and access to medication. Rich people parties equals danger, and marble floors are not your friend when there's cake involved. Anyway, I'm Lexi, and if you ever saw a girl body sliding across a floor screaming about a dog named Champagne, that was me. Tell me in the comments, what's your weirdest party job? Costume? Chaos? Canine-related trauma? Let's talk about it, babe. Love you, mean it, Lexi out. So, let's be clear. I was trying to be responsible. It was a Tuesday night. I was feeling lazy, sluggish, full of regrets and tortilla chips. So I thought, okay, Lexi, let's do a little treadmill walk. Nothing crazy, just move your body, burn off some sins. I grabbed my leggings, put my hair in a ponytail, and head to my neighborhood 24-hour gym. Quiet, chill, maybe 6 other people inside. It smells like rubber and broken promises. Perfect. I walk, I sweat, I feel semi-accomplished. Then I think, let me use the good bathroom. The one in the back, near the yoga room. The fancy one with the lotion dispenser and that one mirror that makes me look taller. I go in, do my thing, wash my hands, check my pores, take a deep breath, open the door, locked. Like deadbolt click echoing in my soul, locked. I'm confused. I wiggle the handle. Push, pull, knock, nothing. The gym, silent. Music off, treadmills off, lights dimmed, reception, empty. I realize I've been locked in the gym. And not just any part. I'm locked in the back hallway bathroom behind 2 keycard doors and an emergency exit with a screech alarm that sounds like it could trigger the end of civilization. I try to call someone. No service. I look around. No buttons. No helpline. Just me and a vending machine. I start to spiral. I pace. I talk to myself. I eat 2 questionable protein bars and a thing of vending machine hummus with a paper towel as a spoon. I try to MacGyver an escape. I take the resistance bands from the yoga room and try to Mission Impossible swing across to the exit sensors. I fall. Twice. One security camera definitely got footage of me mid-air yelling "Freedom!" in a sports bra. At one point, I genuinely consider crawling into a towel bin and just going full hibernation. And then, around 4:43 a.m., a janitor walks in. He sees me, sweaty, unhinged, holding a yoga mat like a shield, and screams. I scream back. It's a duet of terror. He unlocks the door, asks if I'm okay. I say, no, I've been surviving on expired trail mix and false hope. He just nods, offers me a granola bar. We don't speak again. Moral of the story. Always let someone know when you're in the bathroom. Don't trust 24-hour gyms if humans are in charge of closing. And protein hummus is not your friend in a crisis. Anyway, I'm Lexi. And if you ever saw security footage of a girl doing lunges in the dark, whispering, "I am the gym now," that was me. Tell me in the comments, what's your weirdest gym moment? Equipment fail? Injury? Trapped in a sauna? Let's sweat out the trauma together. Love you, mean it. Lexi out. Okay, let's talk about friendship. Specifically, the moment you realize your friend has played you. Hi, I'm Lexi, and this is the story of how I ended up in a mosh pit in 38 degrees Celsius heat wearing a full-body hot dog suit while a stranger proposed on top of me. Let's begin. So my friend texts me like, "Hey babe, want to come to the music fest with me? You get in free if you help pass out flyers for 2 hours. Flyers. Easy. I'm imagining a cute lanyard, maybe a folding table. I say yes, because I am young, hopeful, and incredibly stupid. Fast forward to Saturday. She meets me in the parking lot holding this massive costume. It's a hot dog, like a literal foam hot dog with little armholes and a floppy fake mustard stripe. She goes, "You'll get more attention in this. We need people to come to the dance tent." I stare at it like it insulted my family, but I already said yes, so I shove myself in. Immediately, sweat everywhere. I am cooking in my own regrets. I waddle into the crowd, passing out flyers with my hot dog hands, yelling things like, "Spice up your night, come dance with us." Nobody makes eye contact. One kid asks if I'm edible, another throws a corn dog at me. The disrespect. An hour in, I'm dizzy, dehydrated. I try to find my friend, but she's nowhere. My phone's dead, my dignity already gone. Then I hear a beat drop. The crowd shifts, and suddenly I'm sucked into a full-on mosh pit. Do you know what it's like to mosh in a hot dog suit? Hell. It's hell. People are shoving, jumping, screaming.
I can't bend my arms. I can't see my feet. I'm trying to scream, but the foam is muffling my voice. I'm sweating so hard, I start hallucinating relish. Then, out of nowhere, the music stops, and this guy next to me goes, "Babe, I have something to say." He drops to one knee right on my foot. I yelp. It comes out like a squeaky balloon from inside the costume. Nobody hears me. They're all screaming because she said yes. I am stuck, bent, pinned in place by love and bad decisions in a sea of strangers while holding a stack of flyers that now say, "Get saucy." Eventually, they clear out. Someone helps me wobble to the first aid tent. They hand me a Gatorade. I sit in silence, dripping, steaming, rethinking my life while a nurse gently pats my mustard stripe and says, "You did good, kid." Moral of the story? Never trust a simple volunteer gig. Hot dog suits have no airflow and no forgiveness. And if you're gonna black out from heat stroke, do it in a place with Wi-Fi. Anyway, I'm Lexi. And if you ever saw a person passed out on the grass in a meat costume with flyers stuck to their face, that was me. Tell me in the comments, what's your worst costume story? Street promo? Halloween? Theater trauma? Let's get juicy. Love you, mean it. Lexi, out!
Here's something I've learned. Never trust anyone who says it'll only take an hour. They are lying, and that lie will ruin your Saturday. Hi, I'm Lexi, and this is the story of how I got stuck inside a bed frame while a dog named Mochi psychologically tortured me. Let's go. So, my friend, let's call her Janelle, texts me on a Sunday morning like, "Hey girl, can you help me move a few boxes? Should take an hour tops. I'll buy you boba." And I'm like, "Sure, I love boba. I love helping." I am a fool. I show up. She does not live in a first floor unit. She lives in a third floor walk-up. No elevator. No boxes are packed. Nothing is labeled. Her room is chaos, with a Yankee candle burning like a trap. I'm like, "Where are the boxes?" She goes, "Oh, we just need to finish a couple things and then we'll start." Couple things means dismantling an entire IKEA bed frame. You know, the kind made of wood, bolts, shame, and ancient curses. She hands me an Allen wrench. We get to work. After 30 minutes of sweating, swearing, and slowly destroying my cuticles, we remove the side rails. I'm holding up one part while she unscrews the other. Then she yells, "Hold it like that! Don't let it fall!" and disappears for 18 years. I tried to brace it, but the whole thing shifts, and somehow I end up wedged inside the frame, like a sad mannequin in a wooden rectangle. One leg folded, arm trapped. It's giving IKEA saw trap. I yell, Janelle? I need assistance." But she doesn't hear me because she's in the kitchen blending a smoothie. Loudly, "Girl, this is not a brunch moment." And then, out of nowhere, Mochi, the Chihuahua, strolls in. Tiny, angry, wearing a sweater that says Nap Queen. She sees me stuck, sniffs me, and starts barking. Loud, violent, nonstop, like I personally offended her bloodline. I tried to move, she lunges. Tiny teeth, big drama. I am a hostage in wood held by fur. I whisper, "We don't have to do this, Mochi." She growls. I accept my fate. 10 minutes later, Janelle finally walks in, sipping her smoothie like we're in a spa commercial. She sees me, leg in the air, arm stuck, Mochi still barking at my soul. And she goes, "Oh my God, are you okay?" I'm like, "Emotionally? No.
Physically? Also no. She shoos Mochi away, pulls me out like a human Jenga piece, and hands me a lukewarm boba as a peace offering. Moral of the story, never agree to just a few boxes. Bed frames are death traps in disguise, and Chihuahuas do not play games. Anyway, I'm Lexi, and if you ever saw a girl screaming inside a partially disassembled twin bed while a dog in a sweater screamed back, that was me. Tell me in the comments, what's your worst helping a friend move story? Lifted something too heavy? Got trapped? Emotionally wounded? Let's trauma bond, babe. Love you, mean it. Lexi out.
Okay, let me be extremely real with you. There is no fear, no tension, no dread, no emotional unraveling, quite like the feeling of being stuck in a public bathroom line while your intestines declare war. Hi, I'm Lexi, and this is the story of how a burrito nearly ended me in the middle of a suburban shopping mall. Let's rewind. I had a lovely day planned. Cute errands, a little skincare shopping, maybe an overpriced smoothie. I grab lunch at this new place called Soul Tacos, where tradition gets wild. That name should have warned me. I order a kimchi bulgogi fusion burrito. First bite, fire. Second bite, Third bite, my stomach whispered, "You're gonna pay for this." But I'm in denial. I keep walking around the mall, try on a jacket, smile at a candle. Then it hits. A gurgle, a twist, a betrayal from deep within. I freeze, sweat, legs locked. Suddenly, I'm not a person, I'm a biological countdown. I abandon my shopping bag and make a full sprint across the food court. I see the bathroom sign glowing like salvation. I push the door open, and that's when I see it. The line. At least 7 women. No one making eye contact, that tense, quiet bathroom energy where everyone's pretending we're just freshening up and not all actively dying inside. I step into formation and immediately regret my entire life. My stomach is making noises, scary noises. There's cramping, squeezing, panic. My body's like one wrong sneeze, and it's over. There's only one stall open. One! The other one has an out-of-order sign. And the only working one is occupied for 8 years. Or maybe 6 minutes. Time no longer exists. I'm third in line, behind a teenager on her phone and a woman whispering, "I knew I shouldn't have gotten the clam chowder." Every second feels like a betrayal. I consider drastic measures, faking an emergency, jumping the line, breaking into the men's room, or just accepting my fate and becoming one with the tiled floor. Then I hear a flush. Sweet, holy flush. The stall opens, first woman in line goes in, more waiting, my soul leaves my body. Suddenly the girl in front of me turns around and goes, "You okay? You look pale." And I, without shame, whisper, "I am fighting for my life." She nods, does the kindest thing anyone has ever done for me. She lets me go ahead of her. Angelic. A saint. I rush in, close the stall, lock it like it's Fort Knox, and let the spirit of Soul Taco exit my body with vengeance. Not proud, but very, very grateful. I come out 10 minutes later, sweaty, emotionally raw, whispering thank you to strangers like I survived childbirth. Moral of the story: don't trust fusion burritos named after puns. Always locate the nearest bathroom before you eat. And God bless the kind stranger who lets you cut in line when disaster is imminent. Anyway, I'm Lexi, and if you ever saw a girl sprinting across a mall holding her butt and crying softly into a shopping bag, that was me. Tell me in the comments, what's your worst bathroom emergency story?
Airplane? First date? Nowhere near a toilet? Let's normalize digestive betrayal. Love you, mean it, Lexi out.
So here's the thing about confidence. Sometimes it's just delusion in lip gloss. I thought I was being responsible when I scheduled my driver's test for Monday morning at 8 a.m. Fresh start, clear roads, no distractions. What I didn't account for, Sunday night tequila. Hi, I'm Lexi, and this is the story of how I took my driver's test while lightly drunk on regret and passed because of a flying insect with murder energy. Let's rewind. Sunday. My friend says, "Come out, just one drink." Famous last words. Next thing I know, I'm on a karaoke stage screaming Total Eclipse of the Heart to strangers, holding a margarita in one hand and mozzarella sticks in the other. I stumble home at 2 a.m., sleep like I'm being hunted in a dream, wake up at 7:12 a.m., still in eyeliner. I splash water on my face, grab a banana, and pray for forgiveness from the DMV gods. I get there just in time. Instructor walks out. Mid-50s, very serious, clipboard energy. His name is Mr. Hollis. He says, "Lexi, you ready?" I say, "Emotionally, no, but I'm here." We get in the car. It's fine at first. I'm doing okay, despite the nausea, the shaky hands, and the fact that my pupils are still in nightclub mode. Parallel park? Sloppy, but legal. Left turn? A little wide. Rolling stop? Possibly. But then, halfway through the test, a bee flies into the car. It zooms past my ear like a demon with wings. I shriek. Mr. Hollis panics. He's waving his clipboard like it's a weapon. The bee lands on his knee. He yells, "Don't move! It's on me!" I freeze. We're in the middle of a quiet residential street. My window is half down. In a moment of pure survival instinct, I do the only thing I can. I calmly signal, pull over, put the car in park, open the doors, and sprint into a bush. Mr. Hollis also jumps out. We both stand there, flailing our arms like inflatable tube people. The bee eventually flies away. Mr. Hollis is sweating. He looks at me, eyes wide, and says, "That was excellent composure. You handled that emergency with focus and control." I say, "Yes, that's, exactly what I was doing." We finish the test in silence. I don't even remember the last 10 minutes. I'm just trying not to throw up. Back at the DMV, he looks me dead in the eyes and says, "You passed. Barely, but the bee saved you." Lexi, certified driver, thanks to terror and tequila. Moral of the story, never trust someone who says, "just one drink." Bees are unpredictable agents of chaos and grace, and sometimes your lowest moment becomes your biggest win. Anyway, I'm Lexi, and if you ever saw a girl leaping out of a parked car in front of a DMV while yelling, "I am not ready to die," that was me. Tell me in the comments, what's your worst driving moment? Test disaster? Road trip nightmare? GPS betrayal? Let's unpack the trauma behind the wheel. Love you. Mean it. Lexi out. So, I'm trying to be open-minded. My friend sets me up on a blind date. She says, "He's artistic, deep, offbeat. You'll love him." Which is code for, "He's weird but hot, maybe?" Fine, I'm in. He texts me, "Can't wait to meet you. Just wear something you don't mind getting messy." Messy? Sir, this better be fondue or paintball, and not whatever I'm imagining. I show up. It's a warehouse. Classic LA. Graffiti, fairy lights, No clear signage. I walk in and immediately realize this is an art workshop. Not classy art, not paint and sip. This is finger painting. With strangers, in silence. There are yoga mats, tarps, one very serious woman in linen saying, "Let the paint move through you. This is primal expression, not performance." She points to a table. Choose your colors, use your hands, no brushes, no judgment. What happened to top us? Then I spot my date. Tall, beard, looks like he's auditioning for a cologne ad. He smiles, says, "Lexi, you made it." I say, "Yeah, sure did. Where's the wine?" No wine, just water, in compostable cups, with charcoal ice cubes. Why? I try to go with it. I'm barefoot, kneeling on a tarp, smearing red paint onto a sheet of paper while pretending this is emotionally freeing and not giving preschool flashbacks. Then it gets worse. The instructor looks at my date and goes, "You must be the figure model. Go ahead and change in the side room." My eyes go wide. I start to say, "Oh, no, he's not." But before I can stop him, he winks at me and walks into the dressing room. 5 minutes later, he reemerges, wearing a flesh-colored thong and a confident smirk. He climbs onto a raised platform, lays down, strikes a pose, and says, "Lexi, I'm embracing the moment." "Sir, I came here for love, not laryngeal bones." Everyone around me is in it. They're painting with hands, elbows, forearms. Some guy's whispering, "The masculine form, inspiring, yet fragile." I'm sitting there, covered in green paint like a sassy Shrek, questioning every decision I've made since 2019. Finally, after what feels like 1,000 years and one butt dimple too many, class ends. My date walks up, still half naked, and goes, "That was beautiful. Want to grab a smoothie?" I stare at him, covered in paint, starving, emotionally unstable. I go, "I want pasta, therapy, and bleach wipes." I Uber myself home in silence, leave green handprints on the seat, cry laugh into my leftover fries. Moral of the story? Blind dates should never include nudity. Charcoal ice is not a substitute for alcohol. And if someone tells you it'll be an experience, run. Anyway, I'm Lexi, and if you ever saw a girl storming out of a warehouse, barefoot, covered in paint, whispering, "Never again, Brad," that was me. Tell me in the comments, what's your weirdest date story? Surprise activity? Artistic trauma? Full frontal at first sight? Let's bond through the cringe. Love you, mean it. Lexi, out. So I'm broke. Like rice for dinner 3 days in a row, broke. And I need a job. Nothing too physical, nothing too corporate, just something with AC. I see this ad. Fashion-forward boutique seeks live mannequin. Great pay, no talking, must hold a pose. I'm like, I've held in my feelings for years. This is my Olympic moment. Hi, I'm Lexi, and this is the story of how I became a live mall mannequin and literally passed out in public while wearing a sequin jumpsuit. Let's rewind. I get hired on the spot. They love my vibe. I say things like Y2K slay and wear platform boots. Perfect mannequin material. They put me in a window display right at the mall entrance, front and center, baby. My outfit? A silver, skin-tight, reflective jumpsuit with heels that feel like medieval punishment devices. I look like a disco ball that wants to cry. They tell me, stand still. No bonking, no scratching. Don't move unless it's break time. Cool. Easy. For the first 10 minutes, I'm a statue goddess. People walk by. Someone whispers, "She's too still.
that can't be real. A toddler screams, I love the power. But then things take a turn. It's hot. The spotlights are beaming down on me like I'm rotisserie chicken. My knees? Locked. Like straight as a ruler. Apparently, that's a huge mistake. Because if you lock your knees too long while standing still, you faint. Like an old-timey Victorian lady in a corset. My vision gets weird. The edges go fuzzy. Someone's perfume hits me like a brick. I whisper, in my mind, not like this, not in sequence. Next thing I know, I wake up, flat on the floor of the boutique. There's a small crowd gathered. One kid's crying because he thought I died. Another is yelling, she's alive! She's a robot! A manager is fanning me with a coupon. Someone hands me a water bottle. My fake eyelash is hanging on by a thread like it also gave up halfway through. And the kicker. Right next to my unconscious body, a huge promotional sign. Bright red letters, hot and stiff, 40% off. They eventually let me go home, with a cold pack and a gentle, maybe you're not built for stillness, sweetie. Moral of the story, don't lock your knees while trying to look hot and mysterious. Children will absolutely try to poke your face. And no one, I repeat, no one, looks sexy passed out in sequins. Anyway, I'm Lexi. And if you ever saw a girl lying in a store window next to a fake plant and a clearance sign looking like a collapsed superhero, that was me. Tell me in the comments, what's your worst job moment? Passed out? Threw up? Cried in the break room? Let's trade trauma, babe. Love ya, mean it. Lexi, out.
Okay, so I've hit a wall. Burnt out, overstimulated, my brain feels like a cracked iPhone running 47 apps and overheating. I need a reset. A detox. Something that'll make me stop refreshing Instagram like it's a personality. I Google, how to shut off your brain without medication. First thing that pops up, 3 days silent meditation retreat. Disconnect, detox, heal. Hi, I'm Lexi, and this is the story of how I tried to find inner peace, but got kicked out for unconsciously singing Beyoncé in my sleep and ruining someone's spiritual awakening. Let's rewind. I sign up. No talking, no phones, no music. Just 3 days of silence, vegan food, and energetic cleansing. I think, okay, I can do that. I'm mysterious. I'm deep. I read my own birth chart once. I show up to this forest retreat center. Everyone's barefoot. They're all named things like Willow, River, or Sharon who goes by moonlight. The instructor greets us with a smile and a soft gong. Then she says, "From this moment on, we enter noble silence. Please honor the space." And just like that, no more talking, phones off, eyes down. It's giving spiritual Hunger Games. Day 1? Kind of magical. I journal, I breathe. I watch a leaf for like 45 minutes. Someone silently passes me a bowl of lentil soup like we're in a cult. And honestly, it's peaceful. But then night comes. And here's what I forgot. I talk in my sleep. Not cute mumbling. No, full scenes. I've done karaoke in REM. I've argued with Amazon customer service in my dreams. I am truly a disaster unconscious. That night, I go to sleep in the shared dorm. 12 people, 1 room, peaceful energy. Until I start singing. According to sources, aka the girl next to me, I belt out "All the Single Ladies" at 2:47 a.m. in full chest voice. Apparently, I also mumbled something like, "Don't touch my aura, Jessica,"
There is no Jessica at the retreat. Then I farted loudly and said, "Namusty bitch," in my sleep. The next morning, everyone's staring at me, but silently, judging, with their eyes, which is somehow worse. I try to silently apologize with a sad little prayer hands motion. No one blinks. Someone gongs. A single tear rolls down my cheek. Later that day, the retreat leader, Moonlight Sharon, hands me a note. It says, "Lexi, your unconscious vocal expressions are disrupting others' inner stillness. With love, we invite you to end your journey early." I got politely kicked out. I pack up my stuff, walk of shame through the forest, my aura disturbed, my soul loud, my legacy, Beyoncé at midnight and a fart. Moral of the story? Maybe inner peace isn't for everyone. Don't share a room with 11 strangers if your REM cycle is basically a Vegas lounge act. And if you ever hear a mysterious voice yelling "Namusty bitch" in the night, run. Anyway, I'm Lexi, and if you ever saw a girl being silently exiled from a retreat center while holding a half-eaten granola bar and mouthing, "I'm so sorry," that was me. Tell me in the comments, what's your most embarrassing sleep moment? Sleep talking? Sleep walking? Sleep TikToking? Let's overshare like the noisy little disasters we are. Love you, mean it. Lexi out.
So I have this rule. When life gets boring, I say yes to weird things. One of those things? A casting call that said, "Looking for bold, confident singles for a new, fun dating show. Just bring your personality." Hi, I'm Lexi, and this is the story of how I accidentally became a reality show contestant without realizing it was an actual reality show. Let's rewind. It's Saturday. I'm hungover, bored, emotionally fragile. I see this casting thing on Instagram. It looks low-key, like maybe I flirt with a hot guy, maybe I get a free LaCroix. So I fill out the form. Name, age, favorite snack. I write hot Cheetos and vengeance. They email me back in 2 hours like, "We love your energy. Can you come tomorrow?" I say, "Sure, why not?" I show up to this sketchy warehouse in North Hollywood. Outside, there's a fake palm tree. Inside, a ring light and a girl with a clipboard who says, "Hi, Lexi, love your look. You're our wild card energy." Wild card? I think this is just a screen test. You know, like a little video interview, flirt with a pretend guy, go home, laugh about it with friends. Wrong. They lead me into this set that looks like a low-budget version of Love Island. Fake grass, inflatable pool, people in swimwear, and someone hands me a tiny mic pack and says, "Tape this inside your bikini bottoms." I'm like, "Bikini bottoms? I wore jeans. I thought this was a casting." They hand me a backup outfit. Neon pink, ridiculous cutouts. I look like a backup dancer in a Pitbull video. But they're already micing me, handing me lip gloss, and yelling, "Lexi, to the beach set in 5. I'm like, what is happening? Suddenly, I'm standing next to 3 other women who all clearly knew what this was, and a guy walks in shirtless. Tan, tattoos, looks like he owns a boat and definitely ghosted someone named Brittany. He smirks at me. I panic. The producer yells, "Lexi, give us your first impression." And I say, "He looks like the kind of guy who has a ring light in his bedroom and says he's emotionally intelligent but doesn't recycle." Everyone laughs. The producer goes, "We love her! Spicy! Keep her on camera!" I'm stuck. Now we're filming a scene where we have to decorate cupcakes with sexy toppings. Someone hands me a gummy worm and whispers, "Be flirty with it." I black out emotionally. Then there's the compatibility challenge. We have to do blindfolded trust exercises. I trip over a beanbag chair. Someone catches me. I yell, "I'm too emotionally unstable for this much trust." They're eating it up. I'm not even sure I signed a real release form. One point the host goes, "So, Lexi, what are you looking for in love?" And I say, "A man who doesn't talk in movie quotes or call his mom brah." Cut to producers screaming, "Gold! Lexi is a star!" I finally sneak off set, go find my bag, realize I've been on camera for 4 hours, covered in frosting, wearing a mic taped to my thigh, and technically part of a dating show called Heartline, Love Gets Messy. I ghost the entire production. 2 months later, I get a DM. "Hey Lexi, just FYI, your pilot scene tested really well." Moral of the story? Don't say yes to Instagram casting calls unless you're ready to become a meme. Mic packs go places no mic pack should ever go. And I may not have found love, but I did find humiliation. And that's forever. Anyway, I'm Lexi. And if you ever saw a girl sprinting out of a fake beach set in Los Angeles holding a gummy worm and whispering, "I didn't ask for this," that was me. Tell me in the comments, have you ever said yes to something and it spiraled into full chaos? Background extra, blind date disaster, surprise cult meeting. Let's bond over the bad decisions. Love you, mean it. Lexi out. Okay, let's talk about email. Specifically, how email is a trap sent by Satan to humble, overconfident millennials like me. Hi, I'm Lexi, and this is the story of how I accidentally hit reply all on an email mocking my boss, and then had to face a full company Zoom with my shame in high definition. Let's rewind. It's Monday, 8:47 a.m. I'm half awake, staring at my screen through the fog of one weak coffee and a hangover from binge watching true crime. My boss, let's call her Karen, because of course, sends out her usual Motivational Monday company-wide email. This week's gem? Subject, be the CEO of your own energy. And in the body? Remember, team, if Beyoncé has the same 24 hours as you can crush it today. Muscle emoji, sparkle emoji. I can't. I break. I snap. I'm not emotionally strong enough for sparkle emojis and weaponized productivity. So I do what any passive-aggressively unhinged employee would do. I hit reply to my work BFF, Rachel, and I type, "Girl, if I'm the CEO of anything, it's anxiety." Beyoncé also has assistants and a chef. I have IBS and a broken desk chair. Then I add a spicy little closer. Also, if Karen sends one more glitter quote email, I might quit and become a barista in Bali. I chuckle. I sip my coffee. I feel seen. Then I freeze because Outlook shows me something horrifying. I didn't hit reply. I hit reply all to 87 people, including Karen and Karen's boss. And Karen's boss's boss, all the way up to some VP I've never even met, but who definitely wears cufflinks. I stare at my screen like I've just murdered a digital puppy. I whisper, no. I try to delete it. Too late, it's out. Floating in corporate cyberspace, mocking the hustle, taking down Beyoncé and the chain of command in one passive-aggressive swoop. 2 minutes later, Rachel slacks me, "Babe, what did you just do?" Then, "I'm wheezing. Also, you're dead, but I love you." I check my inbox. Karen has seen it. There's that little terrifying read receipt. No response. Then an admin sends a meeting invite titled Email Boundaries and Professional Communication. Mandatory. I want to dig a hole and crawl into it with my burnt toast and dignity. We all get on Zoom. Everyone has that fake neutral face. Karen looks like she's been practicing deep breathing exercises for 30 minutes. She starts with,
Before we begin, I want to remind everyone this is a safe space for growth and learning. I'm like, cool, growth, let me just publicly combust real quick. She doesn't mention my name, but she does read my exact words from the email out loud to the group, including, I have IBS and a broken desk chair. Everyone is mute, but I can feel the silent laughter vibrating through the Wi-Fi. I send an apology email later titled, Deeply sorry for the Energy CEO incident. Karen replies with, Thank you for your honesty. Also, your chair's been replaced. Please hydrate. Moral of the story? Double check your replies before you drag your boss's glitter quote. Never underestimate how quickly your words can go from private sass to full office PSA. And Beyoncé may have 24 hours, but I need 72 and a personal therapist to survive Monday. Anyway, I'm Lexi, and if you ever saw a girl quietly turning her webcam off in a professional Zoom meeting to scream into a pillow, that was me. Tell me in the comments, what's your worst email fail? Send it to the wrong person, autocorrect disaster, screenshot shame? Let's cringe together. Love you, mean it. Lexi, out.
So, I've recently learned that solo movie nights are magical, unless you walk into the wrong screening. Hi, I'm Lexi, and this is the story of how I accidentally crashed a toddler's movie birthday party and stayed for the entire thing out of pure anxiety and shame. Let's go. So it was a Thursday, I had a long day, brain fried. I wanted to see something light, silly, a solo date. There was this indie rom-com playing, some A24 movie with quirky dialogue and too much lens flare, my vibe. I get to the theater, grab popcorn, icy, the big one because I'm treating myself like royalty. They scan my ticket and say, Theater 7, enjoy your movie. Cool. I walk in. It's kind of loud. Like, real loud. Kids squealing, parents whisper yelling. I'm like, wow, this indie rom-com is super chaotic? But the lights were already dimmed, and I'm in that awkward moment where you've committed. So I slide into the end seat, popcorn in lap, sip in mouth. Waiting. Suddenly, a kid plops into the empty seat next to me, hands me a juice box, says, You can be my partner for the coloring contest. I look around. Balloons, party hats, a mom in a Paw Patrol shirt passing out goodie bags. I slowly realize I am not in Soft Hearts, Hard Edges starring Florence Pugh. I am in a full-blown private birthday party screening of Paw Patrol with 27 screaming 5-year-olds, and I just stole someone's reserved parent seat. I try to get up, but the mom sees me and goes, Oh, thank God, you're the babysitter, right, from the app? I panic. Instead of saying no, I just nod, because I'm weak and terrified and now deeply committed to this lie. She hands me a name tag that says Miss Lexi and walks off. I sit there, frozen, in existential crisis, juice box in hand. The movie starts, and now I'm watching animated dogs drive vehicles for 98 minutes while being stared at by a child who thinks I'm qualified to supervise them. At one point, the birthday boy screams because someone took his gummy worms. Another kid licks my elbow. I just keep nodding, like I've been trained for this. The movie ends, the lights come up, the mom comes back and says, The kids loved you. Can I get your info for next time? I say, I don't exist, and power walk out of there like I'm escaping a cult. The worst part? As I'm leaving, a kid hands me a party bag. I still have it. Inside, a whistle, a sticker, and a temporary tattoo of a cartoon fire hydrant. Moral of the story, always double check your theater.
Never underestimate the power of parental desperation, and if you're handed a juice box by a stranger child, run. Anyway, I'm Lexi, and if you ever saw a confused adult watching Paw Patrol alone while holding a name tag and crying into popcorn, that was me. Tell me in the comments, what's your most awkward, wrong place, wrong time moment? Wrong classroom, wrong party, wrong date? Let's spiral together. Love you, mean it. Lexi out.
Okay, let's start here. I was trying to follow my dreams. Is that a crime? Hi, I'm Lexi, and this is the story of how I gave the performance of my life in a mall to absolutely no one because I got pranked by teenagers running a fake casting booth next to Auntie Anne's. So here's how it began. I'm walking through the mall, just minding my business, when I see this poster taped to a column, bright yellow, all caps. Casting call, be in a movie, today only. It says, seeking fresh faces, must be confident, open monologue 1 minute or less. Location, booth 17, food court level. And I'm like, say less, this is the universe, this is my SAG debut. I rush home, I practice my favorite monologue, something dramatic, something powerful. I go full Shakespeare. I curl my hair, do the eyeliner, put on a flowy top that says, I'm complicated but castable. I march back into the mall like I'm about to land a Netflix series. I find booth 17. It's suspicious. It's not a room. It's literally a kiosk with a fake backdrop and a giant ring light pointed at a folding chair. No one is wearing a headset. There's no clipboard, just a teen with dyed hair and a hoodie that says, Wi-Fi is down, so I'm outside, chewing bubblegum. I'm like, is this the audition? He goes, yeah, just stand there. Start whenever. I should have known. I should have run. But I was already committed. So I stand. I take a deep breath, and I deliver Juliet's monologue. The whole, what's in a name scene. Tears in my voice, emotion in my chest. Waving my arms like I'm on stage at the Globe Theater, right next to a Sparrow. Behind me, I hear giggling. I finish. Silence. Then the director, aka Hoodie Boy, goes, wow, that was intense. So like, can you also do TikTok dances? I'm like, I'm sorry, what? And then from behind the kiosk, a group of teenagers bursts out with phones laughing. It was a prank show. They had made the flyer as a joke, put it up as bait, and filmed the whole thing. One of them screams, yo, she did the whole Juliet thing. Another one yells, she like cried? And I just stood there, frozen, absolutely humiliated. I did what any self-respecting fake audition victim would do. I bowed, said, you're welcome, that's called talent, grabbed a free sample from the chicken teriyaki stand, and left with my head high and my soul in ashes. Moral of the story? Not every casting call is real. Teenagers with ring lights are dangerous, and malls are not where dreams go to live. Anyway, I'm Lexi, and if you ever saw a girl dramatically whispering Shakespeare into a phone camera while mall cops watched, that was me. Tell me in the comments, what's your most public embarrassment moment? Flash mobs? Open mics? Karaoke gone wrong? I'm here for the cringe, baby. Love you, mean it. Lexi out. You ever get dressed for nothing fancy and walk into an event that looks like the Met Gala for influencers? Hi, I'm Lexi, and this is the story of how I wore fuzzy pajama pants to a rooftop party with real silverware and fake people. Let's go. So it starts like this. My friend, we'll call her Sabrina, texted me on a Friday afternoon. Babe, my birthday thing is tonight. Super chill. Just a few people, food, drinks, come comfy. She even says, I'll be in a hoodie, lol. So I think, amazing. I'm exhausted. Let me live. I throw on my comfiest pajama set, matching, yes, but still definitely pajamas. Hair in a claw clip, no makeup, hoodie, lip balm if we're lucky. I Uber over. The address is bougie, but she's got rich taste, so I don't question it. The doorman lets me up. Rooftop penthouse suite? I'm like, okay, rich people can still be chill. But then, the elevator doors open, and I step into a scene out of Vogue. Floor-length dresses, tuxedos, champagne trays, candles, a literal violinist playing a soft instrumental version of Viva la Vida. I blink. Someone hands me a glass of Prosecco. I'm too stunned to refuse. And then I hear, Lexi! Sabrina comes floating toward me in a red satin gown that probably cost more than my rent. She hugs me, smiles, looks down at my outfit, and goes, oh my God, you actually did it. I love it. You're so brave. Brave? Girl, I thought we were eating pizza on your couch and watching Netflix. I didn't realize this was the Great Gatsby TikTok edition. I try to hide in the corner, but no, I'm now the pajama girl. People start coming up to me saying things like, wow, you're so real. I wish I had your confidence. Is this like a statement? One girl, full face of makeup, glitter eyeliner, nails like razors, asks if I'm the hired entertainment. I say yes, just to cope. I try to sit at a table, but it's set with chargers, name cards, and 12 types of forks. I'm holding a solo cup and a slice of cake like I'm at a toddler's birthday in a Versailles replica. In the worst part, the party is catered. I can't even stress eat Doritos. Everything is made of foam that costs $16 per bite. At one point, I lock eyes with the violinist. He raises an eyebrow. I give him a thumbs up. We silently agree to never speak of this again. I last about 90 minutes. I take a group photo, which someone definitely posted with a caption like, true friends, true fashion, and left before dessert. In the Uber, I just stared out the window, silently Googling how to read social cues. Moral of the story? When someone says casual, demand photos. Never trust anyone who says, I'll be in a hoodie, lol. And always keep emergency eyeliner in your purse, just in case you accidentally walk into a gala. Anyway, I'm Lexi. And if you ever saw a girl holding a solo cup in flannel pants while standing next to someone in heels worth more than your car, that was me. Tell me in the comments, what's your most tragic outfit mismatch moment? Too formal? Too casual? Costumed when no one else was? I need to know I'm not alone. Love you, mean it. Lexi out.